All right, so I'm here with Erik Christensen again. He's here to show you guys how to do some combos with the new Horus PK line, so that he has piloted at our last case tournament. So go ahead and show us a little bit of how it plays through.
Yep. So this is a pretty moderate hand. I mean, you don't have any PKs or anything like that, like right off the rip. And you have the worst one of the two, so it's still super playable. You can do a lot like with a hand like this. So if you usually start with thrust, I'll usually, if you have one of these two, I'll just kind of lead with that. They're going to have to respond, or you can just immediately rip their hand and know what you're playing against. Take away hand traps so you can go off with Sark. Tons of stuff there for it. So with this hand, I would just probably start with Ken. Uh, if they stop it, then you can start going into your other things.
Yeah, you got thrust too.
Yeah. So this one gives Gen, so they'll discard any card, and then as soon as that basically resolves, you'll just immediately thrust for tactics. Oh, wrong one. And then just rip another card from their hand. The main reason you want to do it is more so just to know if you're having to play through any sort of hand traps for it there. If they don't have hand traps, then you're just ripping their engine. So they're already down 2 cards, and you have just normal this guy for it. Once that goes through, so they're basically at 3 cards there. I would just bring out Wielder, and then Cherubini basically lets you go into your engine immediately, even if you don't initially open anything there. So Cherubini, I would just send probably this guy to start. I would use him, get a Phantom Knight, probably do, probably Boots here. And then I'm going to go the Sark line. Sark can pitch the Boots, and then that kind of replaces your hand, so you can keep going from it there. Specifically for Sark, I always start with the non-Imseti ones because they're the one-ofs that you don't want to draw. Imseti's fine later on to draw, but the main reason is that when you send both of them and make the zombie vampire, you have a higher probability of milling one of the 3 Imseti than just one of these. So first one, I'll just send whichever. I'll probably just do Boots here, get Shade, and Cherubini can just go into your rank 3 or link 3 really easy for it there. Here, I will do that first. Some of this, make your link 3. His effect, you'll get your Fog Blade for free. And then you'll send, what we got over here? Probably just the gloves for now. Gloves can kind of turn into whatever you want it to be. So it's just versatile having it engraved, and you can mill after you do your zombie vampire, which you're going to do now by sending the second one. You can just kind of fill in the gap of what you're missing for everything. So you do these two, bring those back out. These will go into your vampire.
Give them a fresh cut there.
Yeah, make it real. And look, you milled the Imseti, so you already have it. This is normally, ideally, you want to hit any sort of 3. So if this was a scenario and you did it to your opponent, they had an Ash, you'd probably take Ash in this scenario. And this, you just have in 70, so you just get that. From here, you do have Fog Blade engraved, so now you can make your monsters come back for everything itself. So here, let's see.
You can take your time to try to hit it.
You don't have a hand, so Torn Scales is a little rough. Yeah, honestly, I'd probably just do this. Do a little. Yeah, I think this is just you're kind of ending it kind of here. You're gonna set the IP. You didn't summon this back off its effect yet, so you just get him SETI. All of these cards are just crazy to kind of leave on board because if they eliminate anything, you're getting bonus effects just for free. So this is probably where I'd end for now. You could maybe put Torn, but realistically, you're probably gonna just be using it just if it as a body against stuff to use with IP. So it's kind of this is probably where you'd end. But you have to remember this doesn't seem as powerful, but you rip two cards from their hand. You saw
Exactly.
exactly.
They're starting at 3.
Yeah. So and you tailor it like to know that you're going to end on a fog blade. So if they have multiple spells, you're getting rid of a spell and leaving them with a monster. You know that's going to get negated by that. You know IP goes into the Little Knight to do stuff. It's a board that doesn't seem as strong on paper, but when you're actually playing it, it's crazy.
And how about with Shadow's Light?
Yeah. So Shadow's Light's really part of it there. I'll actually only start with 2.5 cards here to kind of do this one. The Shadow Light really puts on pressure. And then just so here, Shadow's Light on any Phantom Knight is going to summon your Ken or your Ken. So off of this, I usually get out Gen because I like to start with the draw too, just to kind of facilitate your hand better. If you open one of the thrusts, you can start with the other one first because it's always better to summon Ken to their board or Gen to their board prior to doing thrust, so they're getting rid of like one of their cards anyways instead of thrusting. You know it, and they can get rid of something like after the fact. It's just better like to do it if you can. It's not that big a deal, but this one we'll do Ken. And I'm just going to do this literally with only 2.5 cards because this is my discard outlet that I'm planning on for scales. So whatever I draw, we'll just go from there. But so Ken's going to go off. We'll draw 2. Got those. It's perfect because these suck. So we'll discard the Dumatef there. We'll use Torn Scales. We're going to send Cloak. Cloak will go off and get Boots. Boots effect is just to get your body there. I'll go these two into Cherubini. Cherubini's effect, we will dump Gloves. Again, he's just versatile there. From here, I'll probably go, honestly, Gloves, send Wing, and then Scales is going to trigger. So what I like to do now with this engine, because I'm appreciating it a lot more, I'll go into the XYZ armor stuff now, just to kind of get it out of the way. This is just off the bat going to get you a draw. So you have your. I used the Gen. Okay, yeah. So you get your one draw. So now you got a Fog Blade. Then you're going to go just into your next XYZ. This is going to get your trap. And the reason why this is so good is if you have your King Sark, this trap is just a free discard to kind of thin your deck even more, and it puts it into the grave for you.
It's that graveyard effect.
Yeah, so it's not the worst if you have it in your hand for it there. It's on field effect, just let you XYZ immediately. So it can be good when your opponent is comboing and you save it to make your Typhon. You can just slap Typhon over
right
anything. So that works pretty well for it there. But ideally, you want to end with it in your grave so you can do your stuff there for it. So this is where you're at right now. You just have Cherubini in this. But over in your graveyard here, you still have access to all of this for it here. So you still have quite a few plays to keep going for everything.
And if you've opened Thrust Talents, those are both live, being able to rip, draw.
Yeah, this was just off those 2-card Shadows Light, like basically for it there. So from here, let's see. Probably just do, Wing, bring this guy back. You can just kind of link these off for Bardiche. Bardiche will get your Fog Blade here, and just send. Usually when I banish him, I'll just send another Torn just for the next turn there. This is going to banish just to get your other Fog Blade. And then, I mean, with that, I drew a Fog Blade and an Ash. You're getting like 2 draws like in this combo, like for it there, or there's 1 draw. I don't remember, something like that. I don't know. But it's basically you're really like efficient with your cards for everything because a lot of these cards it's a strong board go playing into things, but on top of that, you can set up your next turn by having your graveyard loaded up with like your torn scales and some of your other guys. Like if you open multiple or one of them, you can have like one of these like waiting for your next turn, or keep a boots in there for next turn. The stuff just goes on and on. It's not really a 2-card combo that kind of gets you anywhere. It's you're playing with your hand every time, and it's always playable for different lines.
Yeah.
So it's not like just oh, I opened the Diabell Star, I end on this board because I opened that. Your combination changes, because if you had those 2 cards to start, but you open this, you now can't do this line, so you change your play according like to just how you open for it there.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's a very like dynamic deck. It's not like standard, like you do this and that's
absolutely. Yeah, it's very floaty.
Yeah, it's you can do a lot with this, and people just don't play it, so they don't know what's going on.
Especially the Horus Engine.
Yeah, the Horus stuff is crazy too. It's just such a good like ending like play for it. That's pretty much like the main kind of fuel for it. I really love this engine. The more I play with it, I'm not going to take that out. Typhon is amazing. I can show the line where if you don't open Ken again real quick, because that's probably the biggest one. So this one again, it's not like a standard like combo, but just if you open cards, you can eventually get there for it itself. I would say probably those and some sort of extender like the psychic guys. The only change I might make is adding more extenders. But other than that, that's not really. This should get you there, I'm pretty sure. So I can normal this. Lets you just kind of get. I'm just gonna summon them all out. Use these to get to your Cherubini. Your Cherubini here can send Gen or Ken. So we'll send Gen. From here, you're gonna go. You can just use this up. It's not a big deal there for it. Into Little Knight. Little Knight is going to banish this. So the purpose of getting it banished is now you can just get to a Leviair, and then you'd be able to
bring it back.
do your plays. So you can banish this, get whatever. Doesn't really matter. Let's do wing. Sure. This will trigger. His effect. He's going to dump one. Send whatever. You can banish this, summon back, and then you get Leviair.
And Leviair bring back Ken summon the Gen out.
Yeah. I mainly don't really do this unless I open the thrust and don't have a way to get to Gen or Ken like just otherwise. But this lets you like turn your all your thrusts and tactics online instantly. You're gonna get your draw 2 from the Ken that's coming out, and then you just get it's a +1 off Ken initially, anyways. So you get 2 cards. Okay, pitch that. So I got a Fog Blade, and then from here you can just keep going depending on like what you have like for it here. So this I have. Yeah, I mean this probably will send Cloak just to get another body. You can get that to your hand. Cloak. And then in this particular instance, it's a little neg because you'd have to link these off like into something bad just to be able to make into your Bardiche. But you can still do it regardless. So it's really not that the end of the world for it there. Take those. You just go and well, why not another little knight? Use those, make your Bardiche. And then you're still getting your trap off your Bardiche. You're setting up your grave for the next turn with the guy that you're sending off the Bardiche. And then you drew into 1 card, so I have a Fog Blade. And this was off of not opening, Ken or Gen, but still resolving that. So if you have a thrust, you're doing that as well. There's just a lot you can do. I would need an hour to do every combo you can do with this deck, but it's a lot.
Yeah, well, we appreciate the time you've given us today for it. So,
sure.
Is there anything you want to say last second?
Shout out to Semi-Limited Podcast.
Yeah, that's right, man.
Other than that, no. I mean, I'm pretty happy with this deck, and I'm just learning it more and more every day. I'm playing 3 Little Knights. That's about it.
It's a flexing. All right, appreciate it, guys. Thank you.